Republicans still slamming Democrats for the anti-hate resolution that passed in the House last week. Congresswoman Liz Cheney says it's watered down and fails to single out Congresswoman Omar.
I decided to vote against it because I think it was really clearly an effort to actually protect Ilhan Omar, to cover up her bigotry and anti-Semitism by refusing to name her. The Democrats have yet to take any action to remove her from her committee. And they've got a real problem. I mean, the extent to which they are now abiding by anti-Semitism, enabling anti-Semitism in their party, is something we watch them struggle with, but something that's very dangerous for the country.
Arizona Congressman Andy Biggs sits on the House Judiciary Committee. He also voted against the resolution. Congressman, good morning. Why did you vote against that resolution last week?
Well, I voted against it because I felt that it buried what we were actually there for. We were there for an anti-Semitic problem on the Democrat side with Ilhan Omar. And they turned it into a world peace resolution, something that meant little. We all know that we shouldn't hate people. But it was also in conjunction with everything from Nancy Pelosi saying, oh, she didn't understand her words, Steny Hoyer saying we have problems on both sides, so he's trying to deflect. You got Clyburn saying, look, it's more personal to her than even children of Holocaust victims. And Tlaib saying, oh, she's just commenting on Israel. None of that is true, because the real problem is with Ilhan Omar's series of anti-Semitic rhetoric. And that's why I looked at it and I said, yeah, we don't want to hate people, but good grief, we need to call out a problem that we have and deal with it, and they weren't dealing with the problem.
You just heard Congresswoman Cheney making the case that House Democrats are enabling anti-Semitism. She also made the case that they are protecting Congresswoman Omar. Do you agree with all that?
I absolutely do. They're certainly protecting Omar, and they're trying to justify everything that she has said, or if they can't justify it, which they can't, then they try to deflect it. And if they can't deflect it, then they try to bury it. And I think that does exactly what Liz said. It allows her to continue with her anti-Semitic comments, and that's tragic.
You know, and not all are trying to do that. Katie Hill, we've had her on this program. She's a Democrat from California, Purple District. She is acknowledging that her party needs to do better at avoiding these distractions. She said, quote, we have elected a lot of strong-willed and very opinionated people. So I think what we have to figure out somehow is to say, okay, this isn't the views of everybody in Congress. I thought that was interesting, Congresswoman, because what does this say, what we have seen so far? What does it say about leadership when it comes to the Democratic Party in the House?
Well, I like Katie, but you notice she didn't come out and condemn anti-Semitism. She said we have a problem. This isn't everybody's view. She needs to condemn it. So there's a leadership problem from the rank and file. I mean, Ted Deutsch did much better at doing that, but it shows that there is a conflict at the top of this Democrat Party that is being actually held hostage in many respects, in my opinion, by the young people that just came in that Katie Hill's talking about.
Meanwhile, we are waiting the White House to unveil the new budget. What we know so far is what Fox News has received per our own sources is that it will include this $8.6 billion total for the border wall, $5 billion from DHS, $3.6 billion from defense and military construction, completes 722 miles of the border barrier. What does this tell you about the priorities of the White House, Congressman?
Well, I think the president has made the case that it's an emergency on the border, and I think they want to build a wall and extend it. What we're doing with his emergency declaration doesn't get the job done. I mean, the reports out, Arizona last year, in the last couple of years, enough fentanyl seized to kill between 70 and 80 million Americans in Arizona alone from the border. And that's, when you look at that, that's an emergency. That's an emergency.
Leaders of the Democratic Party have responded already. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi have put out a statement ahead of the official release of that budget this morning. President Trump hurt millions of Americans and caused widespread chaos when he recklessly shut down the government to try to get his expensive and ineffective wall, which he promised would be paid for by Mexico. We hope he learned his lesson. Obviously, this sets up for another battle royale. Do we risk another government shutdown, Congressman?
Well, it's a little early to say. I think it telegraphs something that I think we all knew, is that the Democrats are going to keep fighting this tooth and nail. They don't want a border wall. They don't want border security. they give lip service to it, and we really could have resolved this last time if the Senate could have voted for the budget that came out of the House. So. A lot of blame to go around for the last shutdown, that's for sure. And I'm hoping we don't have another shutdown, but it sounds like the Democrats are in for a fight on the border.
Sounds like that blame is already getting thrown around. Congressman Biggs,
Yes,
appreciate your time this morning.
right.
Thank you, sir.